Look, for any executive listening to this right now, the choice has never been more stark. You either innovate or you're eliminated. There's just no middle ground anymore. In a world that's constantly changing, clinging to yesterday's playbook, that's a direct path to becoming irrelevant. So, how do you actually win? Let's break it down.
This quote from Professor Henry Chesbrough, the father of open innovation, it just cuts right to the heart of the matter. For decades, giant corporations acted like these impenetrable fortresses, right? Believing that all success had to come from secret internal resources. Well, that world is gone. The idea that you can do it all by yourself is now the single biggest threat to your company's survival.
And that leads us to a really critical mandate for survival. You've got to outsource innovation. It is time to challenge that old build-it-in-house mentality head-on. Because in today's world, buying and partnering with innovators on the outside is just faster, it's smarter, and honestly, it's the only way you're going to win.
So what's holding so many companies back? Well, they're trapped by this really powerful and frankly dangerous idea. The source material calls it the ownership illusion, and it's a massive strategic blind spot for countless organizations out there.
So, what is the ownership illusion? It's this belief that owning your entire innovation pipeline, building everything with your own teams, still gives you some kind of edge. But in reality, it's become a massive bureaucratic burden. It's like an anchor of internal politics and egos that just slows you down to a crawl while your competitors are flying right past you.
And here's the brutal consequence. This illusion creates a fatal lag. We're in an era where a technology like ChatGPT can get 100 million users in 60 days. Your internal development cycle? It's obsolete before it even gets a budget approved. Trying to build everything yourself basically guarantees you're going to be technologically behind from day one.
And you're hearing this urgency echoed by global leaders. Eugene Acevedo, a CEO of a major global bank, he points out that the stakes are just exponentially higher now. This isn't about innovating widgets anymore. We're talking about AI, generative AI, even quantum computing. Trying to build these things from scratch isn't just slow, it's pretty much impossible.
Okay, so we've established the problem is urgent and it's potentially fatal. Enough about the problem. Now, let's get to the solution. This is the executive playbook for turning the tables. It's called the venture client model. And this is where things get really interesting. Just look at what BMW is doing. Through its startup garage, BMW pioneered this totally revolutionary shift in thinking. Instead of acting like some slow, complicated investor who's demanding equity, they act like a fast, high-value customer. They become the startup's very first customer.
And the beauty of this is how brilliantly simple it is. Step 1, you become the first customer. You just buy a pilot unit, no equity strings attached. Step 2, you give them supplier status. This lets you bypass months or even years of procurement nightmares. And then, Step 3, you immediately gain speed and access, letting you test and validate cutting-edge tech inside your own company, super fast.
Now let's connect this whole thing to the most urgent challenge sitting on every leader's desk today. Because this playbook isn't just about some general innovation theory. It is the specific key you need to unlock the power of AI.
Let's be crystal clear about this. The venture client model of open innovation is the only relevant way to adopt AI agents right now. Why? Because the global ecosystem of thousands of startups has probably already solved your problem. Your job is to connect to the solution, not recreate it from scratch. And you should know this isn't some academic theory cooked up in an ivory tower. The author, Itai, literally developed this playbook on the line, on flights, traveling between consulting gigs with the leadership of the world's biggest corporations. This is a field manual written from the front lines for the front lines. So you've seen the problem and you've seen the solution. The real question becomes, what is your next step? How do you take this framework and actually make it a reality in your organization before you get left behind? To put this into action, the playbook offers a few different paths. You can get weekly deep dives by subscribing to the Itai LinkedIn newsletter, or you can see visual breakdowns over on the YouTube channel. Now, for those of you who are ready to really implement this, there are options like strategic consultations and executive workshops to help you build out your specific AI roadmap. The path forward is clear. The choice remains: innovation or elimination. Which side will you be on?